Okay, so we're gonna do another car review, and today we have the Cadillac CT5. So the CT5 is a 5-seater. This is a 350T, so this is the base model. Has 330 horsepower. I mean, it looks like a pretty solid car. I'm probably gonna say this a few times, but the outside looks pretty up to, I don't know if it looks dated or up to, I can't really tell with the Cadillacs. But yeah, so this is going to start at 48,000 and it's going to get up to 58,000. Then you have, like, you know, the performance, I don't know, black, whatever Cadillac has as their AMG equivalent. Excuse my shoes. But yeah, so we're going to look at the outside, the inside, then we're going to take it for a drive. So from what I've been told, ever since I was little, Cadillac at least used to be that, you know, the super, like, luxury American car. You know, they're huge. They have that really big styling. They're like boats. They have super smooth suspension. So up front, we got these LED lights. You have a second one right here. You're gonna get the Cadillac badge on the side, which is not colored. You have these base model wheels. I'm assuming the calipers might be red or, like, you know, more colorization. The wheels, the higher model trims you get up. And then moving on to the back, you're gonna get this cool kind of like 3-end light thing. And then you have these rear lights. This is a reverse light, if I'm not mistaken. I'm new to this, so might be stupid. I think overall the car is a pretty solid looking car. I think it looks cool. I don't know if this is like a status symbol anymore, but I mean, pulling up in this would be pretty cool. This is not a hybrid. This is just a pure gas car. So this is a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. And I was actually surprised the fuel economy is 22 and 30, which is pretty good for, I thought these were gonna be gas guzzlers. And then you can also get the V6, and, you know, you can get up to, I think it was like 4.6 seconds, 0 to 60. You can get a really fast model of this. Anyway, let's hop inside. And the first thing I noticed is these aren't normal door handles. They don't pop. They're actually like the Tesla, like they're electronically. A lot of cars are doing this now. You press this button, and then like auto does it. And that's the same for the back too. There's also this little LED light strip on the doors. There is no Cadillac projection on the floor. Okay, so I drove the car before this, and I said there was no ventilated seats. There are ventilated seats. You can get heated leather. I think this is real leather. Ventilated and heated seats. I hate when they have just missing buttons. Just do something about it, but that's because you have the base model here. You're going to have a decent-sized screen. I was disappointed with the size of this screen. Or just the look of it. Something about throws me off. And then you're going to analog and digital gauge cluster. There's no heads-up display, though. You know, this is one of the biggest letdowns I think I've ever had in a car interior. You know, Cadillacs, at least the higher models, are super nice. This is just kind of basic. It just reminds me of a Chevy. Honestly, if you put a Chevy badge here, I would buy it as a Chevy. Because I know a lot of these are just rebranded Chevys. This screen is straight from a Chevy. A lot of these controls are, I hate, I'm going to mention this so many times, I hate the turning signals. They're like, they're just kind of like mushy. I don't know, there's just like there's some leather pieces, but there's just a lot of like plasticky buttons. Like if I showed you this right here, you wouldn't think this is a $50,000 car. You know what I mean? 58 if you get a nice model, probably. I bet this car gets to 100,000s if you get the really fast package. Sorry, I'm not trying to do all my research. We got mirrors. You can get some storage. This is the weird thing about it, is you can't open it from this side, so only the driver can open up the glove box. It's not like one of those dual hinge things. You don't open it from here, you don't open it from here. You can only open it from this side. So you are going to get your 4-way lumbar support, and then I think it's like 10-way adjustable seats. You can go, you know, up, down, tilt. And then you got 2 seat controls. Car also comes with this like trackpad thing that you can control all of your stuff with, music, volume. This part's kind of nice. And then this is your shifter and drive mode select. And you got a whole array of buttons on the side. I don't know, for like presets, you know, all that stuff. And of course some blank buttons that don't do anything. They still click. So the cool thing is the gauge cluster you can configure to do navigation, calls, all this stuff. It's a very small thing right here. But I mean, it's nice. You could be driving, you know, look at your navigation, just look straight up at the road. You don't have to look at this. Moving up here, you have kind of a blank spot. So I'm learning this car as you are. You got lights. It's just so basic. You know, I wouldn't be complaining as much as I am throughout the video if this car was, you know, 35,000, but you're paying 50,000 plus for a car. And, you know, knowing car companies, this car at $58,000 is going to still have the same general look. It's just going to have, you know, where the missing buttons are, but it's still going to be like this. Okay, now I'm going to talk about 5 positive things. I really like the design of the seat, and with this little like the little wing thing. I like this cup holder thing that kind of just like slides back. You can hide your cup holder, it's nice. And then number 3, you also have these wireless chargers, and there's a place to put your key fob. Now I can't tell if it's here or if it's here, but there's a place I think it's here actually. There's a place to put your key fob, which is really nice. You don't have to like shove it somewhere, get your keys scratching up your phone. Another thing I like is just the look of the car. I do think the car looks really nice, and I do think it looks up to date actually. Okay, I think is that 3, 4? Last thing I was gonna do is just look at the engine, but I thought I locked myself out. I love how cars' engines looks. I think they look so cool. Looks. Okay, I don't know if I'm stupid. I just don't know how to open up the front of the car. Okay, so yeah, those are the things I like about the car. Let's go see the trunk, and then we'll go to the back seat. So the one disappointment was it's not automatic. It's manual. You gotta shut it yourself. It just, I mean, it kind of sucks. I think I could fit in the back of this. I mean, it looks pretty spacious. Yeah, that's the trunk. I'll list the cubic, whatever the measurement for the trunk is. Okay, so we're gonna move to the back seat now. So the back seat, I mean, it's pretty spacious. I was impressed with the amount of legroom, especially at my driving position, like 5'10", 6'5", I mean. But yeah, the driving position is really nice. There's room, a lot of room. There's a lot of room to store water bottles throughout the car. There's just a lot of room in this car. There is no rear climate controls or heated seats, but there are climate vents, which is nice. And then you're gonna get like your basic necessities, like, you know, light, handle, and you get some cup holders. And this thing actually folds up, which is nice. So yeah, that's the back seat. Also, you can pop it twice, so you can't close it. That was my ankle that was in a fight. Okay, so we're gonna take this car on the road now and do like a little driving review. Okay, we're driving the CT5. Okay, so with this car, I feel like, okay, so now we're driving the CT5. With this car, I just feel that it's kind of like cheap inside for $48,000. For $48,000, I could get like a Genesis GV70. I could close to get a GV80. I can get a lot of cars that are just a lot nicer for how much you're paying for this. Ride is surprisingly bumpy, and I know Cadillacs are supposed to be really smooth, which I was kind of, you know, I was unimpressed that it's so bumpy. It's not a fast car. It's not super smooth, and the driving position is strange. I move myself up really high. The engine just kind of, like the whole hood of the car is like really high up for some reason. So it's hard to see over, so you want to move your seat up. And then the mirrors for the car are like really like narrow, and it's just weird. I can't even see out of it. That's another thing, the turning signal. The turning signals are super like sticky, and they don't click at all. So you kind of just have to jam it, and you don't, it's really unsatisfying, which I really don't like. I do like the gear selector to go like reverse, neutral, drive and stuff. It's kind of cool, like you press it and you shift it. So it's kind of the perfect, I don't like the shifter, like the circle glass shifters. I think those are kind of annoying. I like the brakes. The brakes work really well, maybe a little too well. Look, oh, they're really like, they're kind of choppy actually. I don't mind those. The sound system is pretty good in this car, and I think the space in the back is pretty good. Okay, so now we can open up this car a little and kind of hear the engine. See, there's not much engine noise, and like if you drive like a Genesis GV70 or a G70 or like any other car, even an Acura, there's just so much more just engine noise, which I actually prefer. Speed is digital, but my speed is also at the same time analog. I don't know, I just like that. There's no heads-up display in the car, but I like the Tesla doesn't have a heads-up display, so I'm kind of used to that. I don't mind that. I think the Cadillac brand image is pretty good. I don't know about the lower end cars, but I think this car is pretty cool. Like, I mean, I don't know. I thought Cadillacs were supposed to be cooler. I'm a little disappointed. I thought they're supposed to be like super luxurious inside. They're just not. I'm not super impressed with this car. It being a Cadillac and maybe buying it used for like half the price. I do like buttons in a car. The one thing about the Tesla I don't like is everything you have to kind of you know, you go on the screen, you might as well get into a crash when you do that. There's buttons here, and I kind of know the layout of it enough now. Nothing is buried on the screen that doesn't have to, and if it is on the screen, it also has a physical button, which is nice. I mean, the steering wheel's full of buttons, and even like adjusting the mirrors, there's a button for it, which is really nice. There's a Lexus ES 350 in front of us, and they're around the same price, if I'm not mistaken. I'd rather have that. It's gonna last a lot longer. I think the inside of the Lexuses, they're play it really safe, but they're really nice inside, a lot nicer than this. This still is kind of like a Chevy, you know what I mean? It's a Cadillac. It's still a GM car, so it's not gonna be. Is Cadillac GM or? The nicest Cadillac is probably the Lyriq right now, or the Escalade, because they kind of updated those. But you know, the CT5, I don't know, like if there's a CT6 or any of those like small, all the SUVs are just kind of lame. I'd go for a Lincoln Nautilus over Cadillac SUV. I don't know, this car just, I mean, it's fine to drive. It just blends in with a Chevy. See, I'm gonna hit the brakes and you're gonna see the phone slam, because we'll watch these brakes. Ready? Watch this. So I'm not trying to embarrass myself. Okay, I guess the phone didn't slam, but so there are different drive modes on the car, and you can adjust like the steering and stuff on it. So I'm gonna go through. There's touring, sport, snow, ice, my mode, so probably like a custom mode. We're on sport right now, so let's try tour mode. I mean, I can't tell much of a difference. It seems smoother. Let's go over some. Here's a bump right here. I think it is a little smoother. The steering is. I'm pretty happy. The steering's a little tight. I'm pretty happy with it though. I'm sure you can adjust that too if you don't like that. I just noticed there's paddle shifters, so I don't think it's a gated manual, but okay. Oh, I guess I don't even know. Drive mode 3. I just hit that. Yeah, I think it's mainly just aesthetic stuff. I don't think. We're gonna try accelerating in the normal mode. Okay, it does have a little bit of a kick too. I didn't realize that. I'm not even in sport mode, so maybe that's my fault. But it's not a lot of power. This car, I don't think the car feels that big either, especially for like a Cadillac, which I know. I mean, this is the first Cadillac I've driven, but like, you know, Cadillac's supposed to be big cars. They're like this feels like nice and tight. Like I can move it around easy. It's not like massive or anything like an Escalade. That is the Cadillac CT5 350. If I were to rate on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 6, a 5. It's fine. It's just kind of average, honestly. And if there's a Chevy equivalent that I'm not naming because I don't know, that's just like this, I would go for that. Honestly, it's going to be the same. Cadillac definitely needs to modernize their interiors, which I know they're doing with some of their, you know, the Escalade, the Lyriq, all those cars. The Celeste, some of their concept cars are really cool. They need to start, you know, giving a little bit of that inside of these cars because they need some work. I mean, the Cadillac SUVs. Here's a Chevy over here. This is basically, you know, the same company. This is a luxury version. It's like Lexus and Toyota. Okay, look at that. Look at that screen. That screen is like a full wraparound screen. And this car, I'm gonna put up the price, but it's not even, it's probably 10K less than this. Yeah, so that's my car review. Thank you so much for watching.